Are you tired, listless, looking for a moment of escape from this hellish nightmare reality you inhabit? Today's lucky winner from Sanguis Pharmaceuticals can help. Independent studies that are definitely not fictional showed that listeners reduced their boredom by up to 69%. Today's lucky winner is not for everyone. Do not listen to Today's Lucky Winner if you are under 18, easily offended by cussing, or are a snitch who can't listen to fictional drug use. Side effects may include giggling, distraction from worldly concerns, and hyper-aggressive sleep punching. Ask your doctor if Today's Lucky Winner is right for you.
Previously on Today's Lucky Winner.
Just then, in a shimmering streak of light, a green spectral donkey appeared. I haunt this bridge with my soulmate, but she's disappeared.
You know the human city of Atlantis?
Yeah.
Gone. One of your models got attacked by an alchemist and made a tiny supernova.
Rule number 1, don't poof your human unless you want something hella grody to happen.
There are many types of witches: alchemists, warlocks, sorcerers, druids, and artificers.
Sanguis didn't kill her?
Definitely not. There was some shadow creature in your apartment. If I stared at it too long, this intense, cold fear ran over my body.
Reapers are automatons. They aren't supposed to be like this. I'd be doing it a favor by taking this knife to its throat.
Dawn looked in the direction of the noise and saw a black 1983 Ford Bronco with Super Swamper tires doing donuts near the gate to the bridge. She had gone through a phase in high school where she was interested in cars. She'd take a picture of unfamiliar cars with a disposable camera, develop the film, and figure out the year, make, and model of each one. She was impressed she could figure this one out in the dark. She could see a single person hanging halfway out of the passenger side window. She couldn't quite see much more of their appearance, aside from their mustard yellow coveralls and fire engine red hair. Every time they got near to the group, they threw a glass bottle toward them on the bridge. Whenever the bottles broke, unnaturally red flames erupted at the point of impact.
Who the fuck are they?
Well, that's the truck that's been lurking around the bridge to the past.
It's your last night of haunting, you ghost donkey son of a bitch.
Hey, let's move, maybe?
Greg, do you trust me?
Well, you know I do, Rita.
I'm gonna have you hide in my scythe, buddy, okay?
You can do that?
You can do that?
Okay. Rita held the tip of her scythe toward Greg. He closed his eyes and tilted his face toward it, booping it with his ghostly donkey snoot. As soon as he touched the scythe, he became a streak of green light and was pulled into the blade.
Did you...
I didn't reap him. He's not gone. He has to deal with the DMV. I need to poof you both.
What?
No way. No fucking way.
Those are alchemists, and the last reaper of my make and model to get hit with one of their concoctions blew up Atlantis.
Yeah, sounds great. Let's get out of here.
All right. I get left arm, you get right arm?
With Dawn and Sunny looped on either arm, Rita poofed. The vortex and lights were familiar to Dawn at this point, although this poof seemed to have significantly more turbulence than the last time she'd done this. Sunny stared in awe at Rita, whose eyes were shut tight in concentration.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, babe, are you okay?
Was it trying to poof 2 passengers?
3. Greg.
I'll clean this up. Do you need anything?
Weed?
Yes.
Rita lay on her back on the floor of their rented house. She closed her eyes and knocked on the blade of her scythe with a single knuckle on her pointer finger.
Greg. Come out, Greg. You're safe.
The spectral donkey poured out of the tip of the scythe and stood beside Rita. Oh gosh, thanks a heap, Rita. I couldn't have left that bridge without you. Are you? You okay?
Here, baby, here's a weed pen and some water.
You the best.
So, are we gonna talk about Greg?
Greg. Too sick to talk. Tell them about bridge.
Oh, sure, yes. My apologies. Greg walked over to the couch and sat his translucent donkey ass down. I'm sure you're all familiar with the San Antonio urban legend of the Donkey Lady Bridge.
The what now?
Absolutely not.
Congratulations, you're today's lucky winner. Flights of angels sing you to your reward. You put on your Sunday best, but there's no one here to be impressed. The Donkey Lady Bridge is a story that humans have consistently messed up. Most tell some horrific story of a woman who was burned alive and left to look like a donkey. Now, some say it was a story from the 1800s. Some say it was the 1950s. All the stories are rife with misogyny and ableism. Leave it to humans to put their own baggage on something that's actually about an independent woman with a heart full of love. Florence. Florence McKinley is my soulmate.
Good morning, dear creatures. Good morning, Gladys. Your ears look delightfully fuzzy this morning.
Thank you.
Oh, bingo. I may be human, but I like to think of you as my kid.
I am a kid. Hold on. Florence is a human? And she's your soulmate? You and she didn't... This wasn't a... Please give me an explanation that won't make me barf too.
What?
She's assuming you were a couple, Greg.
Oh my God, no! Blah! What's wrong with you?
You said soulmates. What was I supposed to think?
You don't know about soulmates then, huh? Let me continue. Nasty? Soulmates are rarely a romantic pairing. Most people have more than one. A soulmate is someone who comes from the same energy you do. Maybe your energies were entwined in the Big Bang. Maybe you both are made of the same star stuff. I don't know the specifics. But I do know that soulmates complement the best parts of each other. They're better together. Like peanut butter and jelly. Florence was a kind woman, and in 1952, she had a farm out here when she saved farm animals from slaughter. She was also a druid, and she could talk to animals. I met Florence at the Behar County Fair.
Why, I've saved up enough money from selling my famous peach pies to go rescue a new friend at the auction. It's not much, but I'm going to see what fine soul my $12 can help.
Florence had gotten to the fair late in the day. All the prize-winning animals had been sold, and the rest were... Well, folks from the dog food and glue factories enjoy the end-of-day auctions.
Well, next up on the block, we got a donkey. He's a little donkey, just a tiny ass. A minuscule shitter. He bit me earlier, and the look on his face says he'll do it again. He's got a bad attitude, and he's so small a strong wind would blow him all the way to Oklahoma. He can't do any work. He's basically worthless. How about we start the bid low on account that he's the worst, and I want him out of here. Who's going to give me $8? I got $8 over here from the man from Dallas Adhesives. Who's got $9? I got $9 over here from the man from Cowboy Kibbles. How about...
$12.
Like clockwork, old Florence Spencer comes in with a bid far too high for the quality of the animal she's trying to buy. There's not a single job this scrawny little fella can do, sugar.
His worth is not determined by whatever job he can or cannot do. He has worth all his own. Say, I'd bite you too if I was him. Take my money, you big galoot. I've got a home for that donkey.
And with that, I moved to Florence's farm. Animals roamed freely, and Flo grew all kinds of fruit trees. We could eat whatever we wanted, and we'd retreat to the warmth of the barn at night. She created paradise for animals whose birthright had been a horrible death. It was our own little slice of heaven. Things weren't always great for Florence, though. Sometimes she got sad. Really sad. She was late coming to feed us one morning. We were worried about her, and the gang in the barn thought someone should go check on her. I volunteered, found her sitting on her porch.
Oh, Greg, you must forgive me for being in such a state.
What's the matter, Miss Florence?
Well, sometimes I get ever so blue. I'm a druid without a grove, you see. It's just me out here on the farm.
Well, why aren't you with the other druids?
Well, I can't contact the other world like they can. I'm just lousy at divination. The only thing I can do is talk to lovely creatures such as yourself and make peach pies. And there's no place for a lady who talks to animals in a druid grove. They don't have a job for people like me. I can't do anything useful. I get so lonely.
Well, didn't you say at the auction that your worth isn't determined by what job you do?
Oh, Greg, it's not that simple for us witches.
Well, we may not be druids, but we love you, Florence. As far as we're concerned, you're the most important witch in the world. You should come to us when you're feeling blue. There's no need to cry alone.
Oh, I couldn't burden you all with my problems.
Nonsense, Flo. I'll talk to the gang, and you'll never have to cry alone again.
Skate fast, eat ass.
Rita?
She's asleep. I wonder what she's dreaming about.
Oh, I don't want to know.
Well, is she gonna be okay?
I think so. She sleeps whenever she's hurt. She should be getting better as we speak. Please, Greg, continue.
So I went to the animals in the barn, and we devised a plan. The barn cats and Tallulah the potbelly pig would take turns sleeping in Florence's room with her every night. I would accompany her on her chores around the farm. We'd talk all day long. We were inseparable. Everyone had a part to play in making sure our witch never felt alone. When Florence felt blue, which wasn't nearly as often, she had a family on the farm to comfort her. Till the big summer storm in 1953.
Abel! Ramona! Gregory!
A strong wind had demolished the barn. We'd all scattered to find shelter while the storm raged on. Against all better judgment, Florence braved the storm to find her animal family and bring each of us back to her farmhouse. Lost and afraid, I found myself at the very same bridge where you found me tonight.
Greg!
Miss Florence! I can't see you!
I'm coming, Greg. I'll lead you back to the... Oh!
The bridge wasn't as big back then, and it wasn't paved. The wood had become slick in the rain, and Flo slipped off the side. I couldn't see her, but I could hear her. I knew I had to follow the sound of her splashing to go save her. She saved me, after all. I jumped in. But the next thing I knew, Florence and I were standing at the side of the creek. It was still raining, but I didn't feel like I was getting wet. I didn't feel anything.
That's when you saw something like an angel, but with only 2 eyes and much, much hotter. Like an angel who smokes weed and does butt stuff.
Babe, are you feeling okay?
Much. All it took was this entire card on this vape pen, some water, and a little nap. I had a little sexy dreamscape time where I relived hooking up with a roadie in a porta potty at Warped Tour in 2004.
Gross.
And I took this whole bottle of some of Kiva's old pills you gave me, but I don't think they did anything. I can't feel them at all. My headache is gone, though.
These were anti-inflammatories for her hip.
Yeah, 0 out of 10. Do not recommend.
So Greg and Florence saw you?
Oh, yeah. Both of them drowned in the creek. I came to read Florence. I did my whole be not afraid thing, and Florence said she wasn't going anywhere without Greg. That was strange, because spirits aren't supposed to be able to see each other like that between lives.
Unless they're soulmates?
Unless they're soulmates.
Wait, why don't I remember the whole be not afraid thing when you read me? Why don't I remember you from that night at all?
You were on a cocktail of drugs. And also, I was feeling lazy and just told you to
get in the fucking side.
What the fuck? What's wrong with you?
I don't know, but I bet you're gonna tell me. You have a spreadsheet for that, too?
Are you gonna finish the story, or should I?
Oh, sorry, Greg. Sorry. So, naturally, I was shocked to find out that this hot 50s lady had a dead donkey soulmate. I explained the afterlife to her, and she said she didn't want to go to any heaven where her best friend Greg wouldn't be. I understood. I had to do something.
No way. You know I can't do that.
They deserve to be together. Can't you see all the good they both have done? I mean, Greg was a donkey, and he still managed a pretty solid heavenly dimension on his own.
But Florence earned a much higher heavenly dimension. She's been a force for good in every single lifetime she's had. She's going to the heavenly equivalent of a 5-star hotel in the Amalfi Coast. And Greg is going to a Holiday Inn Express in Gulf Shores, Alabama.
But what if they both went to the heavenly equivalent of a pretty dang nice Airbnb in the Florida Keys?
But we don't have enough space in a mid-level heavenly dimension at the moment.
What if they both just chilled on Earth until space opened up? They're soulmates, Kyle. If I had a soul and I found one of my soulmates, I'd do anything I could to stay with them. How often do soulmates die at the same time? I think Florence and Greg will like my plan.
You are the most high-maintenance Reaper I've ever met. Okay, I guess I could see what upper management would agree to. What's your idea? I'm listening.
So Florence and I were given special permission to haunt the bridge where we died together until space opened up for us in an appropriately rated heavenly dimension.
And those alchemists, what did they do to Florence?
I don't know. One minute we were frolicking next to the creek together. The next moment, one of their potion bottles crashed by us and Florence was gone in a cloud of smoke.
I'm so sorry, Greg. We're gonna see if we can get Florence back.
Okay, now what's up with the alchemists? Why were they throwing potion bottles?
Alchemists and sorcerers are the oldest kinds of witches. Unlike sorcerers, alchemists have sort of been replaced.
Replaced? With what? How so?
Well, they excel at potions. They were the scientifically minded witch of their day. Then technology advanced and artificers took their place. Your family probably started out as alchemists, Dawn.
What do alchemists do now, then?
The remaining alchemists are usually hillbillies and Europeans. Their magic doesn't do much against vampires, but it's very useful for banishing ghosts. They spend their time keeping balance by sending wayward souls to the afterlife.
Rita.
No, Greg, there may actually be good news. They tend to store them all in a magical spirit trap until they banish them. It's kind of like my scythe. It holds them until it's time for them to head to the other world. The banishment ritual is this whole complicated thing, so they try to fill a spirit trap full before they do one, to save time.
And Florence may still be in the trap?
I'm guessing she is. How long has she been gone?
They took her last night.
Yeah, if they came after you tonight, they've definitely still got her in there. It's probably in the back of that truck.
What do we do now? How do we find them?
Easy.
Easy how?
They drove a 1983 Ford Bronco with super swamper tires. It's muddy from the rain earlier. We can follow their tread marks in mud.
How do you...
Cars were a short-lived special interest of hers. It's in her file.
Yeah. Let's head out and reunite some soulmates.
Now for a brief commercial break. Hey y'all, it's Brianne. I'm here to tell you about a podcast you should be listening to. If you are a creative of any kind, I recommend you listen to the Outlines podcast. You're going to hear the host, Phill, later in the episode, who is our special guest voice. And yeah, the Outlines podcast traces the outlines of creatives to find out what makes them them. Phill holds discussions diving into their creative mindset and their process, and he talks about the intersection of creatives and social issues and social justice, and the goal of his show is really to teach and inform the next generation of creatives to prove that you can do anything. It's unlimited. And it's such a casual show, like it's unpretentious, and coming up soon, you'll hear a certain voice of a horny Grim Reaper on the show.
And Phill he leads a great conversation. I really love hearing how other people work, and I really recommend it. So make sure you check out the Outlines podcast, and we will have a link to that in our show details.
Dawn walked in front of the ice cream truck while Sunny slowly drove behind her. The headlights from the truck illuminated the unmistakable tread pattern of the Bronco's off-road tires that had squealed off in the direction of a dirt road shortly down from the bridge. Their tires had been muddy, which meant they had been driving on dirt recently. Following the trail of caked mud, Dawn tracked them to a path in the woods. Sunny parked the truck on a gravel patch at the mouth of the trail. The ice cream truck wasn't built for off-roading, and they'd find themselves stuck in the woods. Dawn grabbed Cabroncita and slipped on the fingerless gloves Dax had given her. Rita invited Greg to hide in her scythe once more, and the ladies began to walk.
Okay, yikes. That RV is scary looking.
This is the place. There's the Bronco, and the lights are on in there.
Did we have a game plan for handling these people?
You said most of them are hillbillies and European?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not European, but Texas is hillbilly adjacent.
Where are you going?
I'm just gonna knock. Get the fuck out of here, you ghost-harassing shit stains.
Whoa, her being commanding is kind of doing something for me.
Yeah, kind of wanted to tell me what to do a little bit.
Put the gun down.
Let the ghost go.
No. You let the ghost go.
What?
Dang it, Nigel. That ain't make a lick of sense.
Go away.
No, that ghost from the bridge had to deal with the DMV. That donkey and her are soulmates. They were waiting to pass on so they could go to the same heaven together. Hello?
You said they were soulmates.
Yeah.
And they had a deal with the DMV?
Yes.
Oh, hell, Xander. I ain't ever mean to split up two best friends.
Zip it, Hank. I got this. Say I believe you. Would you put that gun down long enough for us to check that you're telling the truth? We've been traveling around this country hunting ghosts, and I ain't know you from Adam.
Depends on how long that takes. I've got to be somewhere tomorrow.
Oh, she thinks she's better than us. She's got somewhere to be.
You may think you're better than us, but you're not.
Shut up, both of you. You alright if we make a call to our friend at the DMV who takes the ghosts off our hands when we banish them? I just gotta check if your story is true.
Is it Kyle? Are you calling Kyle?
Who the fuck is Kyle?
I don't know who Kyle is, but I'm guessing our friend is a little above his pay grade.
Who are you calling then?
Death, obviously.
The three alchemists cautiously stepped out of their RV to speak with the ladies. They wore yellow coveralls splattered with mud and various mystery stains. The one who had been throwing bottles out of the window of the truck spoke first.
I'm Xander. This is Hink.
Howdy.
And this here's our cousin Nigel. He's visiting from England.
Hello. Sorry about that, throwing liquid fire at you earlier.
I'm Dawn, and this is Rita, and that's Sunny.
Sup, fuckers?
Hi.
That was liquid fire?
Yep. The kinetic energy produced by throwing and smashing the bottle causes the combustion of the alchemical compound.
And you spilled some on your hands, Xander? That's what the bandage and ice pack are for?
She's good.
Yeah, not the first time. Won't be the last. It's a hazard of the trade.
Couldn't you... Oh, never mind.
What?
Could you build something to launch the bottles? That way the only time you have to handle the bottles is when you're loading your launcher.
Fuck. Here she goes again. The artificer wants to build some magic thingy for our potions. You'll think you're so much better than.
No, the thing to launch potions wouldn't even be magical. It could be like a t-shirt cannon for potions. If the liquid fire relies on kinetic energy to combust, wouldn't using something to launch potions make it even stronger when it hits? And your arms won't get tired.
Now just you wait a second.
Hold on, fellas. She's got a point.
We handle potions, love. We don't know how to build shit.
So what about I draw you up something when we're done reuniting these soulmates? I have a few things in my truck that could help. I'll make sure the only other parts you need can be bought at a hardware store.
Really?
Yeah, and maybe you could show me how to make that liquid fire? My uncle makes these spherical glass bombs full of green stuff, but I don't have a recipe for the green stuff. Just the sphere and the detonator. Maybe I could use your fire potion.
Holy shit. We could put potions in a ball.
Damn, you're right. They could launch so much further without the bottle shape mucking up the aerodynamics.
So how about I give you the specs for the sphere, too?
You'd really do that? You don't think we're some old-timey, out-of-touch, meth lab witches?
I don't. I don't know why alchemists and artificers have beef. It sounds like we're magical cousins.
No, Nigel's our cousin. You ain't.
That's not what she meant, Hink.
Well, let's get a move on and call death. Our cousin Dawn here has someplace to be tomorrow.
Sunny went back to the ice cream truck, while Rita and Dawn watched the alchemists set up their summoning circle for death. Sunny could smell Xander's injured hand, and the desire to kill and eat him became distracting. Once she had gone, the alchemists set up a campfire. Hink pulled an enormous bag of salt out of the back of the Bronco and encircled the campfire with a thick ring of it. Nigel and Xander pulled a 3-foot-tall stone obelisk from the back of the truck. They placed it in front of the fire, and Hink made a salt circle around the obelisk, too.
I'm so nervous.
About summoning death? Don't you, know them? Wouldn't you have already met death? You're a reaper.
I don't kill people. They're already dead by the time I get there. I just work for death, or death helped the TMV make me? They made me for death? What should I say? Oh, holy shit, is Death my dad?
The only one of those questions that I can answer is what you should say, and I think it's safest if you don't say anything.
God, I hope they think I'm cool.
Alright, so as soon as we toss the potion bottles onto the fire, Death should pop right in.
That's all? It's that easy?
We've done the hard part already. It takes us 43 days to make each of these death summoning potions, and we have to make them one at a time. And Hink here, well, the truth of the matter is, he can't aim for shit. If we miss the fire, that's 129 days until we can try again.
I believe in you, Hink.
Thank you. It's nice to have somebody believe in me.
All right, fellas. Ready? 3, 2...
Oh, hold on. I forget. We do 3, 2, and throw on 1? Or do we do 3, 2, 1, go, and then throw?
God damn it, it's 3, 2, 1, throw. All right. 3, 2, 1.
His confidence bolstered by Rita's reassurance, Hink's aim was impeccable. The bottles broke and the flames rose. On top of the campfire, an inky black mass began to coalesce. Rita and Dawn felt cold as they watched it grow, and Rita held Dawn's hand. This shadowy blob looked like the one Doug had described to them. This looked like the shadow creature that killed Dawn.
Hello, Death. I know we're early, and we aren't banishing the whole obelisk full of ghosts right now.
We may have made a slight fuck up here.
What have you done?
We trapped a soul that had a deal with the DMV. She was haunting a bridge with her soulmate, waiting for a heaven to pass on to with them.
What was her name?
What was her name?
Florence McKinley.
Rita, it's nice to officially meet you. You're doing great. Don't be scared. Yes, she had permission to haunt that bridge.
So, what should we do with them now?
You've separated them from that place where they were bound. They can't stay here any longer.
What should we do?
A shimmering portal with an intense white light pouring from it opened on the side of the campfire opposite the obelisk.
I've made a pocket dimension for them. It's not the heavenly dimension they were promised, but I think they'll find it's a nice place to spend eternity. I'll need the souls now, please.
Xander walked over to the obelisk and tapped a notch on one of its flat sides. The top of it opened up, and the spectral image of Florence McKinley streamed forth from a green light within the trap.
Where am I? Where is my sweet Greg?
Rita, I'll need to borrow this.
Rita's scythe appeared in her hand, but she wasn't the one who had summoned it. In the same way that Florence had appeared from the obelisk, Greg came out of Rita's scythe and appeared next to Florence. The two ghosts looked at each other in relief, and Florence wrapped her arms around Greg's neck.
Oh, my sweet friend. I was so scared I had lost you.
Me too, Flo. I never want to get separated again. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Rita.
Oh, it's no big deal.
Looking good, Flo.
Florence, Greg, it's time to go.
Where are we going?
A dimension all your own. It isn't the heaven you were promised, but if your souls agree to move there to keep things balanced, it's a small dimension, and there won't be any new inhabitants joining you, ever. It's all your own, and you get to stay there forever.
What's it like?
It's your farm, Florence.
The farm? The farm? But weren't you lonely on the farm without other witches?
Oh, I was, but that was before I found my best friend. Ugh, now, let's hurry, Gregory. I simply can't wait to see the rest of our friends. I've missed them terribly.
Florence put her hand atop Greg's neck, and they walked into the white portal together. The portal shut, and they disappeared.
Was there anything else you three fucked up?
No, that was it.
Then I'll be going. Dawn, I'm glad to see you've been making good use of the time you've been given. Have you discovered the gift I gave you? You're gonna need it.
With a clap of thunder, Death disappeared, and the campfire went out.
Okay. Who the fuck are you two?
What?
Death gave you a gift?
I don't know what they were talking about.
And what the hell are you?
Me? I'm a reaper?
No, you ain't.
You're as much a reaper as I am.
No, really. What are you?
I'm a reaper? I reap souls.
Nah, the scythe does that. You can just summon it.
I've been reaping souls for 66 million years.
And you're in the wrong line of work, because you aren't a fucking reaper. I've seen 100 of them. We're ghost hunters. We run into them.
How are you so sure?
For one, she teleported you and the hot blonde lady.
So?
Reapers can't take passengers. Your brain would melt. 2, she's got an identity. Reapers don't.
And 3, she'd have met death long before now.
Then, what are you saying?
You may be something old and powerful, but a reaper you are not.
Hey, little buddies, it's Brianne. Thanks for listening to episode 16. As usual, if you want to see what these other dorks are doing in their spare time, make sure you check out our show details to get everyone's social media handles. And if you want to help out the show, the best way you can do that is to tell a friend about it. Tell your coworker about the show. Share about us on social media. That's even better. And let people know to check us out. Also, if you have the time and you could leave us a sweet little review on whatever platform you use to listen to the show, that helps other people know what they're getting into and kind of lets them know what the show's all about. And we would really appreciate if you did that as well. But yes, we hope you enjoyed episode 16. Episode 17 will be out on the 15th. And yeah, we love you very much. We appreciate you. And until next time, try not to die.